All right, superstars in studio, I want to introduce you to the man himself, Mr. Joe Burgum, best hair in the studio right now. How are you, brother?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
Joe, I have known you since you were knee-high to a pig's eye.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been many years, many moons.
You grew up in Fargo, right? You are a Fargo native, and you were an Oak Grove student. And in high school, you did something magnificently cool, and you continue to do that with what you're birthing throughout life. So, what was it in high school that you did that all of a sudden gave you this entrepreneurial spirit?
Yeah, absolutely. Was involved in a number of different things, but Fill the Dome food drive in terms of community building and philanthropy, but also ran a company called Youth Organize, and we put on clean and sober high school dances across the Fargo-Moorhead area.
How in the world does a kid from Fargo become an entrepreneur and a do-gooder from like the high school days on? What was it that had your rhythm a little different than other students?
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. I think it was about legitimate ways to not need to be in class, and so that was a pretty strong motivator in high school. Great. But no, it was really around having fun, and that's still a big element of what we do today. Is how do we create moments of joy for our neighbors and friends and in high school, that was the key as well as it is now with Folkways and the farmers market and all the events we do.
So if people aren't familiar with you, Joe, you have become a provider for the community that we didn't know we needed. This, albeit a cheesy statement, is like you were the hero that we didn't know we needed. It started when and what has been in your repertoire since, because you've done some really cool things.
Yeah, having had the chance to live in Seattle and Chicago, and same with my partner Simone, we really saw, hey, where are things that we think would improve the quality of life in Fargo, and how do we build community? And for us, it was really around public space and public gatherings, but also wanting, where it started, a farmer's market where you could come on a Saturday morning and get a cup of coffee and hot food and all that great produce. Now,
a farmer's market isn't new to Fargo. I mean, new to Fargo. I remember years and years and years ago down by the dike, right?
Absolutely.
And that now has changed from a parking lot and has advanced into more flood protection. But there were people bringing stuff and just operating out of the trunks of their car.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're very fertile land here. I mean, there's tons of great produce and lots of places to do your veggie shopping. Right. And that's really what we saw as kind of the veggie stop. Pull over, get the produce, get back in the car. And we were really looking for something that had that metro vibe. Right. You grab a cup of coffee, you could sit down, listen to some music, buy the fresh flowers, and we've been fortunate that there was clearly demand, that people were interested in that, because we've grown. It's been an amazing 4 years for the farmers market.
It's been 4 years already.
It has, yeah.
That's nuts, Joe.
So when we opened 4 years ago, I'm a radical incincrementalist. So it's a lot of massive small steps in the work that we do. But we had 10 vendors, and we were seeing around 500 people every week.
But that's 50 people per vendor. That's actually a pretty good ROI for those vendors in their time.
Absolutely. And today, when we opened up in June of 2018 for our fourth season, we had 75 vendors and saw 10,000 people.
That's obscene.
Yeah.
On a Saturday morning in downtown Fargo, there's 10,000 people going to get corn.
Yep.
And vegetables.
But everyone goes to the lake.
Yeah.
So it was really surprising for us. No, there's a lot going on in our community, and I think whether it's the summer season for the farmers market or right now and really prime, we'll go all the way through the end of October, and it's fun with the college students back and people back from the lake, and that Saturday morning ritual of coming together, seeing friends spontaneously, or the utility of buying some great produce.
Right. So if you're like me, you hear vegetables and you tune out, right? Because like my favorite vegetable is an onion ring. You know what I mean? Like it is just delightful. And I have an old youth group kid, Sam Rydell is his name.
Yes, absolutely.
He's been doing some really great organic farming stuff. And so he and I talk all the time, and he's given me some of his stuff, and it is really great. So you don't have to be a vegetable lover to really appreciate what's happening, but you have things outside of just produce.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're there on a Saturday morning, there's a chance you'll catch my dad waiting in line for a fried hand pie from the baker's wagon, or one of our Amish vendors. So we've got great pastry items. We've got great food from really around the world. If you're an adventurous eater or looking to try new food, I mean, we have tamales, we have African food, we have Indian food, as well as just a good old plate of barbecue.
Right.
I mean, so it is really a full spectrum in terms of the food, both produce to bring home and then hot food.
It's not just the farmers market that you're doing though, Joe. I mean, you've taken that Broadway garage, the old Schumacher Goodyear building, and what could have been just an eyesore, you've turned into this incredible facility. I want to give a little plug because we had a Hatch coaching event downtown a couple of weeks ago, and we went and we said we're going to give it a run. We're going to do this garage experience, and it's this indoor, outdoor, like, is this really going to be okay? And we brought in Heart and Soul, and if you haven't heard Heart and Soul, they're some of the best talent in Fargo when it comes to music. And so we had food trucks, and we had beer and wine, and we had this indoor-outdoor space, and every single person, we had 100 people from around the country. They're like, dude, what's going on in Fargo? And this is such an epic space and experience. And that was our opening event, right? Like, we crushed it, and then it's like, well, what else are we going to do? And then we had other spots to go, and we went to 7 different spots in downtown Fargo, and a lot of them, your fingerprints are on. And so I want to say, I rarely endorse things. I'll encourage things, but I want to endorse what Joe's doing and the Broadway Garage downtown because it's unique. And so you're offering private events, but you're also doing some night bazaars and some other thing, which is also really literally bizarre.
Yeah, it's a fun new event for us. So if those that remember Alley Fair, which was one of our very first events and activating
Robert's
alleyways.
Alley before Robert's Alley became this new chic.
Absolutely.
I mean, you believed in Robert's Alley before anybody else did.
Yeah, but when it was just that alley that we couldn't address, no one knew where it was.
No, and I now own a building that is on Robert's Alley, and man, thank you. Like sincerely, like you have doubled the value and increased the spread of downtown Fargo. It's really special.
Yeah, it's been fun to see that evolution. But with the Broadway Garage and really with all our events, we use a technique called placemaking, which is really this idea of how do we create great spaces for people. We have wonderful spaces when we're in our home or in office and driving around our community. But we think about when I'm standing somewhere in a public space, how is it pleasant? How is it safe? And how do we create that outdoor room? And so the Night Bazaar is another extension of the Broadway Garage. And we have our final Night Bazaar coming up on October 25th. It's a Thursday evening. Yeah. But it's kind of our take on a circus event in Fargo. So we've got similar great food to the farmers market, beer, wine, some fantastic live music, as well as fire performers or aerialists, miniature rock shop. We have some very fun elements for everyone in the whole family to come and enjoy downtown on a Thursday evening.
I asked you off air if you could take a balding, almost middle-aged man to eat a sandwich, and if that's an attraction, and I don't think it is.
I mean, it could be some modern, contemporary art kind of element. We could write art on your forehead and just.
There's an entire billboard right up here, and why I haven't used this surface area yet is beyond me. Joe, not only do you have the farmers market and you have the night bazaar, there's a really big event around Thanksgiving too. I want to make sure we plug that.
This is our second year of the Chris Kindle Mart, which is a German style holiday market, and I feel
when you say German holiday, I just picture Dwight Schrute celebrating Christmas with his really horrible German version of Santa. That's not what this is.
No, not quite.
Okay.
But I feel really fortunate to kind of be a shepherd of what I think is becoming a tradition of our community and really that holiday joy. So it's, Christmas trees and fire pits and carolers and hot wine and Christmas ornaments and really that spirit of the holiday season. And for me and my work at Folkways, it's how do we build community?
Right.
Our work is around how do we create experiences that connect individuals in our community and improve our quality of life, whether that be for yourself and your grandmother or you and your child that's spending time, or as an employer. How do we make this an attractive place that people want to spend time and move to?
You had me at hot wine, Joe. That's really great. There's a plethora of things that you're doing, and it's not going to stop. My guess is we're going to see Folkways pop up throughout the winter as well to find some unique things. And we still have the Red River Farmers Market happening right now. We have the Night Bazaar event and Chris Kindle as well. So there's some exciting things coming up. Where can people learn more about this, Joe?
Our Facebook page, Folkways, as well as the Red River Market. Our website is folkways.co.community, I like to say.
Yeah.
Those are probably the best places to stay in touch with all that we have going on. But yeah, every Saturday through October, 10 to 2 at 409 Broadway for the Red River Market.
Beautiful. Joe Burgum, everybody, doing some great good in the community. We're going to swing to break. Head to livefargomoorhead.com while you're there. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch.